Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching another live stream. We are excited to be talking again about Ms. Wheelchair America. This is presented by the Mary Free Bed Guild. We are so excited to have such wonderful women coming to Grand Rapids for this national competition starting August 18th to the 24th. And we are doing some previews. We're getting to know some of these contestants before they come to Grand Rapids to hear a little bit about their stories. So from the great state of Kentucky and the great state of New Jersey, we are excited to have Deborah Robbins and Marianne Middlebrook. Deborah is Ms. Wheelchair Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining us, Deborah.
Good to be here.
And Marianne Middlebrook, you are from New Jersey, Ms. Wheelchair Jersey. Thank you so much for joining us in the conversation.
Absolutely. So glad to be here.
Yeah, so glad to have you both and excited to learn a little bit more about your stories. So, Deborah, let's start with you. Just tell me a little bit about where you're from and where you currently live.
I'm from West Liberty, Kentucky. It's a small town in the eastern part of the state, so it's not a really big town. A lot of people don't know about it. The only thing our city's really known for is in 2012, the entire city was wiped like clean with a tornado. So it's time our city gets, known for something good. So everyone's excited that I'm Miss Wheelchair Kentucky and going to the pageant. And all that.
That is awesome. And it's so great, like over the years, like connecting with these great contestants and learning about all different kinds of places around the United States that you might not have heard of or known much about. So Marianne, tell me about yourself. Where are you from and where do you live?
So I live in New Providence, New Jersey, which is a small town in New Jersey up north. And I was born and raised here. Been here all my life.
Awesome. Okay. And so also, both of you had schooling, but then you guys also weren't quite ready to be done with it after you got your bachelor's. Deborah, tell me a little bit about your education and where you went to school.
I went to college at Morehead State University. I actually got my undergraduate degree in elementary education. Then I went on and got a master's in educational technology. I'm actually certified to, teach people about technology and computers and all of that.
Oh, awesome. Excellent. And then what about you, Marianne? You are a psychologist, educated, and you really kind of got into this profession. And what are you focusing on as your area of practice?
So I went to undergrad for psychology and English. Wasn't sure if I was going to go the therapist route or I thought about being an English teacher for a while. And then I ended up going for my master's in social work at Columbia and then on for my PhD in counseling psychology. So I've been in school for a long time, finally done. And the area I worked in now is private practice.
Mm. Oh, man. So, I mean, that's just got to be great to learn a little bit about others and how to work with others, but then also learning about yourself through this process as well, too.
Totally. It's been honestly more rewarding for me, I think, than for the clients I work with, just because I get to, meet people in all different kinds of places and situations. And you're right, like you said, learn a lot about myself along the way. And it's been such a cool process.
That's great. So we're going to shift gears a little bit here too, and talk a little bit about why both of you use a wheelchair. Deborah, if you can go first, I believe you started in your teens, begin using a chair. Will you be willing to share a little bit about that for us?
Yes. Exactly a month before my 16th birthday, I was diagnosed with something that was previously called reflex sympathetic dystrophy. It's currently called complex regional pain syndrome. But while all my classmates were, looking forward to turning 16 and getting a driver's license, I just wanted to be able to walk. But I started out on crutches, and then it got to the point that the disease progressed to the point that I couldn't walk. So I had to start using the wheelchair. I've actually been in the chair for about 12, 13 years now. But I also have other medical conditions. I have loose ligaments that my joints just randomly pop out of place when every time I raise and lower my arms, my shoulders pop out. I pop knees and ankles out daily and have to pop those back in. So I had to give in and start using the wheelchair for my own safety and because my strength just wasn't enough to walk.
And what about you, Marianne? So you were really young when you were diagnosed with your genetic disorder. Can you explain, what that is and how you began using a chair?
Yeah, so my situation is a little bit different. I have a genetic condition called spinal muscular atrophy. It's a type of muscular dystrophy. So I was born with it. It's genetic. I got my first chair when I was like 2. So it's been some time for me. But I never basically the signals to the muscle from the brain that signals it to move kind of don't fully get to the muscle. So then the muscle atrophies because it doesn't move. So basically, it's kind of like the move it or the use it or lose it kind of disease. And so I've always used a chair. I've never been able to walk.
In this competition, Ms. Wheelchair America, what we're talking about, it is just an opportunity to find the spokesperson for people with disabilities. And this event is all about empowering women through leadership and advocacy. And so this is just a great opportunity for people who come from different walks of life to share their story with people who might be able-bodied. And so it seems both of you are very passionate, and like I've come across that in so much of our contestants. Deborah, where did that passion come within for you for advocating for people with disabilities and then coming into this competition?
When I was approximately 6-7 years old, I had an aunt who was in a car accident and paralyzed. And so I've grown up, watching her overcome her challenges. And my dad lost he lost 2 of his fingers when I was just a baby. So I've watched him overcome, his challenges as well. And when I was diagnosed with this disease it's considered a rare disease, complex regional pain syndrome is. Mm-hmm. And I started volunteering at a camp for kids with this same disease. And those kids have really inspired me to help try to make the world better for them. Mm-hmm. That's my passion. And just like she was saying that, hers was since birth, my complex regional pain syndrome wasn't diagnosed until I was 15, but they're now saying that it's genetic. And I actually have a niece that's 13 now that's having a lot of the same complications. She's not in a wheelchair yet, but I want to help make the world a better place, for the people that's following behind me on this journey.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, like making the world a better place, every contestant has a platform that they're trying to push and to share about. What's going to be yours that you've probably been working on since you've been the title holder, and what you're going to bring to the national competition?
My platform is actually improving accessibility and normalizing wheelchair usage. Obviously, as ladies in wheelchairs, we all want to make the world more accessible so that it's, easier for us to go places and do things. But I also want to help the general public to see us as people, to normalize wheelchair usage to where when we're out in public, they don't focus on the wheelchair. They focus on us as people. When you talk about the word disability, and I use this a lot when I go out and do my speeches, if you break it down into its parts, the first part, dis just means not, and ability means, the skill set to do a task. So if we want to really talk about a disability, not having the skill set to do a task, everyone technically has a disability. And ours just happens to be walking. And I would like for people to be able to see that our wheelchairs are our mode of transportation, that, our wheelchair serves as our legs. While everyone else walks, we roll. And I was actually in Kroger one day, and a gentleman walked up to me and asked me what a pretty young woman like myself was doing in a wheelchair. And I looked at the man and I said, walking. And it, stopped him in his tracks. He looked at me like a deer in the headlights. And I explained to him that when he gets from point A to point B, he uses his legs, and mine don't work. So to get from point A to point B, I use the wheelchair and I'm walking. So I just want to help people see, that this is a tool. It's a mode of transportation. It's not who we are. We have lots of other, abilities, things we can do. And I think it's time for the world to quit focusing on what people can't do and focus on what we can, because we all the ladies that are, coming into the competition, we've all achieved lots of things in lives, and we have lots of goals and dreams and, things that define us, not our wheelchair.
Oh, Deborah, that is so great. I mean, put that on a t-shirt, that quote there about that's so great. So this is what's so fun about these conversations is we just find such great, inspiring, motivating things to share with the public. And so just so great to hear that from you. Marianne, what about you? What would you say are some of the things you're most passionate about when it comes to advocating for people with disabilities?
I mean, I think my love of psychology and my disability kind of go hand in hand to kind of form what I'm passionate about, because I'm passionate about mental health care and treatment and making sure people get kind of the stuff that they need to be the best versions of themselves. And then I also, like, being in the position that I'm in, think that, people with disabilities that are physical often get ignored in terms of their mental health, when that's so crazy to me, given how connected the two things are, right? And so my biggest point of advocacy is making sure that people with disabilities get the mental health care that they need, just like those able-bodied individuals do, right? Because just because I have a physical issue doesn't mean that I don't struggle with anxiety, doesn't mean that I don't struggle with different mental health issues that people struggle with, right? And I think that people are quick to forget that, but it's so important. So that's kind of my biggest, and it combines two huge parts of me, right? My disability and my role as a psychologist. So I think that's kind of where my passion comes from.
Yeah, that and mental health is so great to just talk about more and more. Something that we all need to consider, and just you're so right in why we can't forget about it with people who have a disability. What is going to be? I'm going to guess that this might have something to do with your platform. What officially is your platform that you're bringing to the national competition?
My platform is mental health access for people with disabilities.
That's great. And so, as we are getting closer to this national competition, it is happening in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Ms. Wheelchair America, presented by the Mary Free Bed Guild, happening August 18 to 24 in Grand Rapids. What is going to be some of the things that you two are looking forward to most about this competition? Deborah, if you want to go first.
Honestly, the thing I'm looking most forward to is meeting all these other amazing ladies in wheelchairs. When I went to the Miss Wheelchair Kentucky pageant, I didn't go expecting to win. I went just for the experience. And the experience itself, living in a small town, I'm usually the only person at events I'm at that uses a wheelchair. So just being there with the ladies at the Miss Wheelchair Kentucky pageant for the day was amazing, because, here was 8-10 other ladies in wheelchairs. And they keep telling me that, if that day had that much of an impact on my life, they said the Miss Wheelchair America week is going to blow your mind, because I get to spend the week with all these other ladies.
So, Marianne, what about you? What are you most looking forward to in the national competition coming up in just a few weeks?
Honestly, the same thing as Deborah. I love meeting new people, and I am also usually the only person in situations in a wheelchair, which is totally fine. But it's always nice to kind of come together with other people who have had similar experiences, and kind of find that, like, friendship and connection in that. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to do that.
Awesome. And so that connection between the women is just so great, and how you guys have been talking leading up to this, and how you guys are going to make these bonds and friendships to go way beyond that. So I want to just we're getting close to wrapping up the conversation, but I want to also hear about you outside of this when you're not the title holder and you're not, working in this world. What do you ladies like to do to just relax, or some hobbies?
I personally am a big fan of reality TV. So you'll find me after work watching all of my shows, usually with my family. I also really enjoy just spending time outside when it's nice out. I love trying new coffee places. I like to get my nails done. Pretty typical stuff, but those are the kind of things that you'll find me doing outside of Miss Wheelchair New Jersey stuff.
What about you, Deborah? When you don't have the crown and the sash, what do you like to do?
Like Marianne, I like to be outdoors too. Growing up in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, my family's done a lot of outdoor stuff my entire life. But on the sideline, I also crochet and I knit. I make stuffed animals and I donate them to charities for children living with disabilities and chronic illnesses. And I really enjoy that. But I also do photography. So those are the things
Nice.
I do on the side.
Okay, and last question for you both. Deborah, we'll go back to you. So in this whole time, since you've been crowned and leading up to here, what's been your favorite highlight of this whole experience so far?
My favorite highlight is I went and set up a table to talk about Miss Wheelchair and Marianne's Miss Wheelchair Kentucky at a local Kiwanis Club car show. And it was supposed to be a cloudy, overcast day and turned out to be bright and sunny. And I had went in a sundress and I was burning my shoulders. So I asked for a t-shirt. The only way to get a t-shirt was to register. So they registered my wheelchair in the card show, and I actually won a trophy for special interest class, best in class, at a car show with my wheelchair. I told them that went perfect with my platform of helping people see, that it's a mode of transportation.
And that's this picture right here, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That is awesome. What about you, Marianne? What's been a one of your highlights from this whole process?
I'm gonna say one of the events I went to at the Matheny School, which is a school for special needs adults and kids in New Jersey. And it was a fundraiser. It was outside. It started to rain. And it was just such a cool experience to see all of the residents, dancing and singing to the DJ, and they didn't care at all about the rain. And it was just such a powerful, such a powerful, awesome experience to watch and be a part of. So I'll say that was probably the highlight for me.
Awesome. Well, Deborah, Ms. Wheelchair Kentucky, and Marianne, Ms. Wheelchair New Jersey, just want to thank you both so much for chatting with us today. We have been promoting and talking about their stories and how they are coming to Grand Rapids, Michigan, August 18th to 24th to talk and to compete in Ms. Wheelchair America, this national competition presented by the Mary Free Bed Guild. We are proud sponsors of this and been helping for several years to help put this on, but there's so many people behind the scenes that make this great national competition happen, and so we are so excited about that. We are so excited to meet these wonderful women with amazing stories that are working to make a difference across the nation. This event is happening in Grand Rapids, Michigan, August 18th to 24th. And this competition is just going to be so exciting, where we're going to crown the new Ms. Wheelchair America. And to get to know some of the contestants a little bit more, we've got one of our great contestants. We've got Latrice. She is Ms. Wheelchair Arizona 2025. Thanks for joining us so much for the call.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you are representing the Grand Canyon State in the competition. Are you originally from Arizona, and where in Arizona do you live?
Okay, so I am not originally from Arizona. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, downtown area. And I right now, in terms of Arizona, I'm more in the Goodyear area of Arizona. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me, you're taking a break from your work to jump in and do this call. Tell me about your educational background and what you do for work.
Sure. So I am a victim advocate for domestic violence. I specialize in domestic violence, human trafficking, child abuse, and sexual assault is what I do for a living. In terms of my educational background, I am certified credentialed through the National advocacy credentialing program in advanced level. So in order to be at advanced level, you must have 15,000 hours in each of those that I just named. I am a graduate of Arizona State University, and my family human development is what my master degree is in. I'm also currently in school now for my master degree in counseling.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Just in talking with some of the women who are competing, it is such a very well-educated group. Just so many extra degrees, which is just so awesome to bring that. And I mean, advocacy is such hard, important work. And you talking a little bit before we started this conversation about it. It's a tough job, but you got to be working hard and be a strong person to do this. So empowerment is such an important key to your theme for your platform. Can you tell me like what empowerment means to you and how you work to help empower others?
Sure. So what empowerment means to me is that I am going on another individual's journey. So it's all about them. It's empowering them, empowering their voice, what it is that they need. And of course, that's going to be unique per person. So it's not me taking over. It's me bringing those supportive resources, my knowledge to the table to help that person get to their end goal, whatever that may be.
Yeah. And has something or someone inspired you to do this, to start advocating for others?
I will always say my mom. I'm a child survivor of domestic violence myself. My mother was a very young mom when I was injured, and there was not very many resources. Technically, they were on the book in terms of like order protections and things like that, but it was not really working for women that were in domestic violence at that time. So because I became disabled due to that injury of domestic violence, my mom had to advocate for transportation, education, you name it, medical, nursing, caregiving. So she was young, 25 years old, and she pretty much inspired me to continue advocating within my life. So yes.
And that's when you started using a wheelchair too, was back then. So it's been most of your entire life using a wheelchair for mobility.
Yes, since 6 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, I mean, your advocacy work is surrounding and centered around domestic violence. What about the victims of this and the survivors of this makes you so passionate about them in particular?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm all about humanity, and mainly with my job, where I really key in is with safety. Safety is huge for me. Bad things happen to good people, unfortunately. And so me being able to help illuminate that victim's voice, and I use victim and survivor interchangeably because just depending on where they are in their journey.
Yeah.
But that's where it's huge for me is I'm helping with that safety component and helping that person get out of that situation that is abusive because it is life-changing. And it changed my life for sure, but also in a good way because I'm here to be an advocate due to my, hardship in terms of domestic violence.
Yeah. And I mean, this is where we can kind of get into that tips and advice. But I mean, anybody that's watching this, I mean, what would be like your advice to them, whether they're able-bodied or not, if they, an advice or a message to someone who's maybe trying to get out of a difficult situation?
First of all, and most of all, listen to your gut instinct. You know yourself best and you know the abuser the best. So listen to that voice inside and reach out for help. Feel comfortable to reach out to agencies. I always say go to coalitions, because they're pretty much the hub of the resources. And so reach out, tell a friend, do your own research safely though, because, computers are kind of complex and people can look at what you're looking at and find what you're researching. So be careful, but definitely reach out for help is what I would say do.
And what do you think is maybe like lacking, like some of the biggest things that are lacking in terms of resources right now for people with disabilities when it comes to being a survivor or a victim of this?
So this is why I picked this platform, which is Empowerment Beyond Barriers, because what I found in my field, and I'm just going to be very transparent, it's who I am, and that's what I'm going to do here for my viewers. I tell you, what I saw in the field is that individual with disabilities are 4 times more to be abused. But working in my space, I was not seeing individuals with disabilities reaching out. And so that made me wonder, like, why are they not reaching out? What's the problem? I always want to attack what's the issue. And what I found is that when you speak of shelters and things like that, although policies are there for individuals with disabilities, it's theoretically, but it's not practical because each disability is unique. So just quickly, in scenario form, if a person reaches out with a disability and they're like, I need help, but what's the plan B? So, okay, you reach out for help. Now what? The resources are not working is the issue. And we need practical resources. So if a person goes into shelter, they may need their caregiver. They may need their service dog. Does shelter really offer that? What's that policy look like for that individual? If they need accommodations, what does that look like? Where do they get that from? So there's so many other components for individuals with disabilities that's needed in order to really get them into safety. So what happens, unfortunately, is they just don't reach out because they're, what they understand is that they may not get the assistance that they need. So
well, such good questions to ask. And that's why you're on this platform at the Ms. Wheelchair America to talk about this. And hopefully by connecting with some of the other competitors, you guys can start sharing platforms and really start helping out people that need it. So we are talking about the Ms. Wheelchair America competition happening August 18th to 24th in Grand Rapids. Latrice, as we start to wrap this interview up, what are you most looking forward to in this competition? It's happening. It's going to be a week long. You're traveling from Arizona out to Grand Rapids, Michigan. What are you looking forward to in this competition?
Honestly, networking, meeting the other women who are so awesome. And I've seen their platforms and they're so amazing and they've inspired me so much. So it's just to get there and meet them and continue to be inspired.
Awesome. And so we wish you the best. It's going to be a fun-filled week. I know some of the team, some of the contestants in the past years have visited our rehabilitation hospital and talked with patients and staff. They've also been out to the local sculpture park, the Frederick Meyer Sculpture Park Garden. Just some great stuff going on there. And we got to get to these photos too. They always, towards the end of the week, have a big dance party with all the contestants. So usually themed, they have a good time out there, just enjoying the music and enjoying each other. Latrice, thank you so much for joining in this conversation. We are talking about Ms. Wheelchair America, the national competition presented by the Mary Free Bed Guild. This will be a week-long competition ending in a speech night where we hear from all the contestants and their platforms. Then that's on Friday at 7:30, and then on Saturday is the crowning gala where we'll meet the top 5 and then see who wins the title. So this has been a great chance to talk to Latrice, and we look forward to sharing more stories of our competitors as we are previewing Ms. Wheelchair America.